Konnichiwa, this is the Shogunstein, and this is a look at the Kickstarter game which just delivered, Time Rift Collectible Card Game. This is the starter game. I backed on Kickstarter, and I believe it was called the Ranger level, which came with the starter game and a number of booster packs. And as some of you may know, I have a side hustle in history, so between loving board games and having a side hustle when I'm not a all-star YouTuber, I have a side hustle, gig economy, and history. You got me when they said card game where you get to pick different historical figures, champions, and you can use either, cards that go with, whatever empire they were from, or mix and match. So say take someone that was a Chinese emperor and give him a Roman weapon and put him against, a Greek champion who maybe has an African weapon and a, Asian philosophy. And you just kind of can mix up all these different historical figures and things that go from different empires and different civilizations. Or you can kind of put, as in the case of this starter game that's set up here, I have, a Japanese themed side versus a Roman themed side where you're led by Spartacus, who led the slave rebellion against the Roman Empire. So as a history person, the idea that you could either play as, your champion being the great samurai, Musashi, and you can have Musashi go against Spartacus and either put up, again, Roman, or again, the cards come with a lot of different empires. There's Roman, there's Chinese, there's Japanese, there's European, there's African, there's Indian, all these different civilizations against each other. So they got me very quickly when I saw this come up on Kickstarter. I'm not a big fan of Kickstarter. I've had some bad experiences with Kickstarter. I think it's a terrible way to get games. However, to the credit of Trivium Studios who put this out, this game delivered on time. It's made in the USA, showing that we can make games in the USA. And the card quality is pretty good. And for those of you that are very upset about the IA art, that's a big, with all that's going on in the world, obviously IA art is like #1 issue. You had real artists do it, so it even tells you on the cards who did it. So I like that. So you got real art, supporting real artists, not against, again, we don't want Skynet doing our card art. We know how Skynet, we know how that ends up. So again, I'm not really a Kickstarter person, but it got me with this whole theme. And again, this is based on an old History Channel game that I never heard of, with a similar type system. So again, this is the starter game, and it's a card game, and you get this kind of a board, really like a piece of paper. You get 2 die. I'm over here now. You really, for the 2-player game, it's easier to actually, I would get another set of D6s, but you get 2 die. You get, again, it comes with the 2 starter packs and 2 starter teams. So again, it came with the Japanese and with the Romans. And it's a game that's played over 4 rounds. Again, you have a champion, and with your team, sort of, you have like these, your kind of loaded your deck here. So you're going to get a champion card. You're going to get a armor card. In this case, it's a kimono. You're going to get a special ability. So in this case, you have some like philosophical. You get a weapon, a sword, and then you get an inspiration. So that's how the decks are set out. And then there's 4 rounds, and each round you're going to reveal the next of you. So you got these 4 cards. I mean, you're going to know which champions you're facing against, but the opponent is not going to know how you ordered these cards. So with each round, they're going to be revealed. And you're going to look at the inspiration, who goes first. And ultimately, what you're trying to do here is defeat the champion. So if you look at the card, it tells you, how many hearts they have. That's, how much damage you got to do, how many movements, what's the damage that you do in your defense. So in the case of Musashi here, 9 life, 4 movements, damage 1, no defense. Spartacus has got 10 hearts, 4 movements, 1 damage. Again, no defense. Now the designers say that the booster packs and the teams were made in a way that it's fairly even. Again, I don't have enough expertise in the game. Haven't played it enough yet to know how true that is, but they're claiming at least that the decks are balanced. And if you use the booster packs as they are, if you open them up, that they're balanced. You don't need to, pay to play and get all these extra cards, and that you can have a pretty even game. Now, the nice thing is, if you don't want to use the preset boosters, you can start mixing up again all these different empires: Europeans, Asian, Chinese, Japanese, Indian, African, any of these different empires. And again, you can mix up the champion, and you don't necessarily have to have Japanese armor. You could use the armor of the Romans. You don't have to have the special, again, from Japan. You use the special from China. You don't have to have the weapon from Japan. You can use the weapon from, the Caliphate or the Persians. You don't have to use the inspiration from Japan. You can use inspiration from, the Vikings. So you can use either how they kind of set it up in the boosters, or you can kind of start mixing and matching. And you're basically trying to move your champion into these spots where you can do the damage to the opponent. And again, if you go with your weapon, you get some more things that you can do. But again, these are going to be revealed at the beginning of each round. Your opponent doesn't know the order that you have in. That's going to affect who goes first, what abilities, what specials you have. Now, again, my interest in this game is less about the game. And again, I just like the whole historical, the idea of, hey, you can play Spartacus against Cleopatra. Or you can take, I believe the warrior, I remember there was a movie, The Woman King. You can take, again, this champion from Africa who, in history, she opposed the French and she opposed the slave trade. You can take her and have her be your champion and have her go against Napoleon Bonaparte. That, to me, is the more interesting thing than the game itself. Game itself, plays quick. They're saying, 5-10 minutes. And again, it's just 4 rounds. And again, you got your champion here. You're going to determine who goes first. And again, you're going to kind of mix up the order here and try to surprise, your opponent. There is a rule book. Not a lot of illustrations, a lot of text. Not very difficult rules. There's one video that they put out how to play online that was kind of helpful. So we'll talk some more about the gameplay later. I just wanted to, again, show you what came in the box. Again, you got the 2 sides as you start a game. Spartacus versus, so again, the Romans versus the Japanese. You got 2 dice. You got this, I don't want to say player mat because it's like, again, it's just kind of like a piece of paper. It's not really that heavy or anything. You got this player mat, and you got this rule book made in the USA, delivered on time. So again, not many Kickstarters can do that. So that's a quick look and at Time Rift, based on an older History Channel game, Trivium Studios. We backed this on Kickstarter, and again, made in the USA, no IA art, and delivered on time. Shogunstein out.